And of course, let's welcome tonight's lead anchor, Dr. Julio Capo, Jr., a board member of the Stonewall National Museum Archives and Library. He's a history professor at Florida International University and the author of the book, Welcome to Fairyland, Queer Miami Before 1940. Now, Julio, you will be uncovering Florida's hidden history on June 27th with Robert W. Fieseler. Tell me, what's happening out?
You know, on Friday, and I should note, he's the one discovering it. I just get to ask him really cool questions. On Friday, June 27th, I'll have the honor of joining Robert Fieseler at Books and Books. That's my childhood bookstore from 7 to 8 p.m. for a conversation about his groundbreaking new book called American Scare. This isn't just a history. It's a chilling reminder of how Florida's government targeted Black and queer lives under the guise of patriotism. As someone who studies history, and this history in particular, I know how urgently these stories need to be heard and told. The event is free, it's open to all, and books will be available for purchase. I hope you'll join us as we uncover the truth so many have tried to erase, and they continue to do so. More information is available on eventbrite.com. So this is the history of what's known as the Johns Committee, and it was founded in the 50s and into the 1964, right? That started initially, it was attacking the NAACP. It started as an organization. It was like essentially like a state-run FBI, like the Florida HUAC, like the House of Un-American Activities Committee, to stop the advancing of Black civil rights. By red baiting them, by essentially saying they were all run by communists. They were unable to find any evidence that Black civil rights organizations were, you know, not actually just fighting for rights, but rather just communist run, you know, amok. So they shifted their attention to policing and purging queer folks from positions of, you know, universities, from schools, anywhere they thought they had kind of undue influence on youth. It's a terrible blemish in our history, and yet so many of the things that we're seeing happen today are coming out of the playbook of this Johns Committee. This is a really important time to know and understand this history, because history doesn't rhyme, but you know, it doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. I just ruined it as I tried to be so smart. So check it out and check out the book.
You know, what's fascinating to me is that Books and Books, because coming from the publishing background that I do, you know, our bookstores have gone away, you know, traditional bookstores.
Yeah.
It's like, those, as you said, a childhood. I remember going as a kid to individual small book, the mom pops, and they just don't exist today. So it's nice to see.
Yeah. Well said.
And Books and Books is a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community. I know when we did the Task Force Gala, we created a queer book, which, you know, Greg, I think you donated a book to us during that time, and we created a queer book nook for the auction, and Books and Books helped us with some of the LGBTQ authors. But one thing I want to say with, you know, again, somebody who's passionate about history, and I think many of us at this table are, and I was talking to at the last Juneteenth event, and we were talking about like how we're clamoring that they're trying to erase our history, but yet how many young people in our own community don't even know our history.
Right.
So, you know, I encourage people, you know, obviously to have our younger generation to learn about the things that we're kind of facing today, because I don't think people realize, again, all of the things that came before that were already fought against and have already been litigated, that you're sitting in this space today with the rights that you do have and how easily they can be taken away. So I think this is a very good reminder. I hope we see more young people at events like this, because that's, like you said, if we don't know about our history, it will repeat itself.
Yeah.
Know your history. And thank you, Doctor, for being a great historian as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now we're like in a very hostile environment right here in Florida. And it is important for younger people to learn about Florida. Right, like they live in a state, like they don't know the laws that were passed before. They don't know, like, you know, it's not just the Black community, it's the queer community, right? Like the struggle. And we have at the house, we barely have any representation, like as far as like members of our own community, right, fighting for us. So it's important to learn that history. It's important to like learn, you know. And Books and Books, I mean, they do a lot of political events. They do a lot of the LGBTQ plus activism, and it's one of the few safe spaces that we have still in Miami. Right now, Miami's like it's gotten red washed, you know, but you know, we have to learn. Like history can repeat itself. That's the problem. History can, and I mean, it's important now more than ever to like understand, you know, our history.
And one more plug for Books and Books, but I do think
we all love Books
if
and
you
Books.
just want to support the book and you can't attend the event, I believe you can order books on Books and Books website, which goes to a local bookstore as opposed to buying it through Amazon or another platform, which I'm sure the author would be happy if you bought it through Amazon as well, but it would be great to buy it through Books and Books.
Certainly support our local
Indies,
bookstores and our
indies.
indie bookstores. I have to say, Books and Books is not just, they're putting their money where their mouth
They
is,
are,
right? Like, I mean,
absolutely.
they started a foundation. They're really fighting against book bans.
They are.
We are very grateful for the work you're doing. They really are doing important work for all of us.
Well, Queer News Tonight looks forward to seeing you at Books and Books on June 27th. That is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer non-media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.